Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going? This is Cremo again, same dude from last week. How's it going? In this video, I want to talk about breaking bad habits. We all have bad habits, right? We all have things that we're trying to look at and be like, okay, cool, I want to break those. I want to change those. I want to transform my life into a better me, into a better version of myself, right? And a lot of the times it can be tough because we, are going through those habits, and sometimes it's hard to let go of them, right? Sometimes they could be addictions. Sometimes it could be, getting out of bed and you can just find yourself repeating the same habits during the day, even though you said that you wanted to really break those, right? And first of all, we all experience this, right? We're all imperfect. We're all human. We all go through the same things, right? It's not always going to be, 100% for us, right? But how can we work on those habits one by one and go through this transformation that we want for ourselves in our lives, right? So the first thing is really, I think, it's really good to be clear about what type of habit that we want to change for ourselves. Is it an addiction? Is it just a simple bad habit, right? Is it lack of sleep? Do we want to fix our sleep schedule and we just can't because of insomnia or any other reason, right? Do we want to overcome an addiction? Do we want to find a way to move through that and not have to sort of go through that? Right? Now, as I said, we're all imperfect, right? We're all human beings. Me, for example, when I was growing up, especially as a teenager, I was dabbling in drugs. I was dabbling in weed. Basically, I had a lot of these things that at the time, in the moment, I might have enjoyed, but afterwards, it gave me some sort of a pinch. It gave me some sort of a pain, right? That's what all these habits that we want to change do. In the moment, they make us feel decent. In the moment, they make us feel good in some type of way, some sort of a sensory pleasure. In the moment, habits promise pleasure, but they don't really deliver on that, right? And we see that all around us, right? I mean, that's the reason why we want to break our habit is because we originally did it because we thought it would give us some sort of a pleasure, but now we've sort of been feeling like, well, I want to change this and I want to transform it into something new, right? We're all looking to seek change from it. So let's get to it. How can we break these bad habits? How can we break this chain of bad habits, right? The first technique is if we have something in our lives or somebody in our lives that we love a lot more, that we're bounded to a lot more in a positive way than the attachment that we have to the habit, then that's one way to break the habit. Now, this works for something we fear as well too, right? If we really fear the consequence of doing one of our habits, right? If we really fear it, and if we feel like it won't be worth it to do it for that consequence, then that's another way to break our habits. So that's the first technique, which is if we love or fear something or somebody enough, more than the attachment that we have to the habit, then that's a way to break out of the habit, right? Now, how can we apply this in life, right? If we're really in love with someone, right? If we have a partner, or if we just simply have a child or anyone else we love, or something we love, right? Something we love that we're not able to do because we are indulging in our bad habits, right? Giving ourselves an affirmation that we won't be doing this bad habit anymore to create a positive environment for that person, for our partner, right? Or to be able to maintain doing that thing that we love will be a way to break that habit. Like, for example, if you smoke a lot or if you drink a lot with a partner that doesn't do those things, right? With a partner that's sober and kind of wants to maintain that sober lifestyle, our habits can sort of influence that partner being sort of in that state of mind that you are when you're high or when you're drunk can influence your partner because you're with them all the time. So if we love our partner more than we love the attachment that we have to the bad habit, then that's one way to sort of overcome breaking through that bad habit, right? The second technique is honestly affirmations. This is I feel like such an underrated, such an unseen technique actually, is we need to give affirmations to ourselves. We need to give affirmations to the people around us, right? Grab a few friends, write down your intention, right? Give ourselves an affirmation that I do not want to do this, and reach out to the people around you to ask them to help you. More likely than not, if you reach out to your friends, they will want to help a friend out, right? If somebody asked you for help, if a friend asked you for help, hey man, I'm trying to overcome this thing that I'm doing and it's kind of tough by myself, would you be down to help me out? I'm kind of on the schedule, right? Like most of us, most of the time wouldn't say no, right? It's kind of hard to say no to something like that because we want to help people through those things. So this is such, I feel, an underrated technique, is really reaching out to the people around us that we know, to the people around us that we know that care about us. And if we ask them for help, more likely than not, they will most likely help us out. Now, the third technique is about giving ourselves a schedule, right? It's hard to stop this. It's hard to stop a bad habit cold turkey, right? Now, I can tell you that when I was growing up, that if I wanted to stop one of those things, it would have been tough for me to just do it cold turkey overnight, right? It's very hard to do that. So what we want to do is we want to give ourselves incremental changes. We want to give ourselves incremental steps. And I think that's really what this is all about. Right? A lot of this is about not blaming ourselves, not feeling guilty for indulging in our bad habits, for doing them, right? But instead of using our energy to blame ourselves and to bring our energy levels lower, we should really be taking care of ourselves, right? And not blame ourselves and give ourselves that self-love, and instead use that same energy to move forward. So we can start off with, say, 1 day of not doing the bad habit, of not doing that habit that we want to stop or change, right? Whether it's sleep, whether it's smoking, whether it's drinking too much alcohol, or any other bad habit that we have that we want to change. Tell ourselves that for 1 day, tomorrow or today, starting today, I am not going to do this one thing, right? And after that 1 day, if we haven't done it, congratulate ourselves, pat ourselves on the back and give ourselves that positive energy, because it's an accomplishment that we haven't been doing it for that 1 day, right? It's an accomplishment that we made that progress, right? And now that we've completed the first day, we can do 2 days, right? And after we've done 2 days, we can move on to 3 days. Right? So what this really is about incremental changes, incremental steps, right? It's hard to stop it over time. It's tough for a lot of people. Not a lot of people can do it. And if you can, that's amazing. Congratulations, right? But one way to do it is to do it incrementally, right? And that has a very powerful technique behind it, because we can take it at our pace. We can take it chill. And as we keep incrementally increasing those days, increasing the time that we are dedicated to not doing this habit, then eventually it becomes natural for us to not do it. Eventually we just drop it. If combined with both of those other techniques, all of these can be very powerful, right? So incremental changes. Now, if we fall short of that incremental change, and if the urge just comes up and we just do it, right? Through the process of those few days that we wanted to abstain from that habit, that's okay. Give ourselves that space and that time and say that's okay. Because if we blame ourselves for a mistake as soon as we fall, then more than likely we're going to want to remain down. So that's the third technique, is incremental changes. So those are the 3 techniques, guys. Again, the first technique is if we have more love, more fear to something or somebody in our lives than the bad habit itself, than the attachment that we have to the bad habit itself, then it'll be a lot easier to break that chain, that habit, that everyday process. The second technique is reaching out to people. Our friends would be willing to help us out, and that'll go a long way in breaking those habits. And the third technique is incremental changes. Give ourselves 1 day. If we've completed the first day, give ourselves this 2 days afterwards, then the 3 days, and have that continue. And eventually it'll be a lot more natural for us to continue with those days. If you guys have any suggestions, or if you just like this video, then just give it a like, drop a comment with your suggestions, and subscribe to my channel as well so you can stay updated for future videos also. This is Craymo, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace.